While combing a distant canyon, I became immersed in the idea of discovery. Finding an early railroad town site, a true vestige of history from a bygone era, now simply abandoned and forgotten. I've traveled many miles amongst rail grade, new and old. There's undoubtedly something about the shared history and experience of the first Americans west that truly shapes today's boundaries and borders as we know it. Rapid advancement and unforeseen development have certainly left a mark on these places today, however. I often wonder, how close of a look can one get to the era and times before those, old lawyers and bankers and politicians, of course, got a hold of the land? Is there any place out there that still remains just as how those early settlers and trailblazers left it? A place where the trains quit coming and, camp simply needed to be packed up and moved to greener pastures. Maybe there is, and I feel like this place here is worth acknowledging and sharing. This is old grade here, and it should be interesting because I'm curious of what goes on back here. But you can see there's actually some train cars up over there. We're not going to disturb them, but they're way out here and kind of just off over there. So come on, Greta. But today we have two objectives. I found something that I've been really anxious to get out to see, and the weather's just breaking out, so we're just starting to get spring and get back into the swing of things. Sorry, but there is an old Northern Pacific station boarding house stop, a small settlement in this canyon, and just researching it dates back to the 1890s, and I thought it'd be super cool to see that, because we've captured so much history from both transcontinental railroads, three of them, the Great Northern, the Milwaukee, and the Northern Pacific. But as you know, the Northern Pacific is my favorite. And this is a small rail stop in a canyon. So similar to the Milwaukee rail stop that we've been to in previous videos, but this is still intact with the buildings. So I'm pretty excited for it. There's a beautiful little stream here. Really clear. And these are tracks right here. See those tracks? So there's two sets of tracks. But we're deep in this canyon, and the settlement's just right up here. So once we get closer, I'll fill you in. But there's a trestle as well that's been repurposed that I believe is Northern Pacific, but operated and owned by BNSF, that I just want to get a peek at, just for the historical purpose of seeing it, because it was built in the late 1890s, early 1900s, but this was a crucial travel corridor, and you see the tankers way up here. Now we're coming up on another trestle here, and there's a bunch of small ones that just go over all these streams and whatnot, and there's still railroad signs. This is either a service line for the track where they're storing the tankers, or it was part of the Northern Pacific. I'm not sure. I know the Northern Pacific needed to be on this side because our rail stop with the buildings and history is up here on this side. And look at this. Okay, so this might tell us something. There's even a fire pit here. From American Bridge Company. So this isn't vandalized either. You notice that? There's not a lot of nasty people that come here to ruin cool history. But it's all I-beams and rivets. So this is all rivets. So this has to be Northern Pacific era. Okay?
just due to it. But what's throwing me off is the foundations. But the foundations too kind of have a little bit of an architectural flair. Like this little soffit or mount, whatever they had going here, where it's kind of edged. That's kind of a history thing where people had, you know, craftsmanship, pride in their craftsmanship, and we don't see that now unless people are willing to pay for it. But back then, a guy wouldn't throw something up or pour concrete to make it look like crap. American Bridge Code, but there's no date on it. But you can kind of see how this would have been an older trestle. So there's what I'm looking at up here then must have been a siding for the Northern Pacific, because there's not too much information I can find on it. Just people think you're gonna get hurt and something bad will happen out here if you're out here. That's all I've figured out. But I know this settlement is here because I saw images of it, and it's actually a historic protected site, but it's so far out here, it's just kind of weird. This is actually Northern Pacific. You see this early primitive stone? No one builds retaining walls like that anymore. That's what this is. This is the right line. Oh look, there's a plate too. Look at, see? There's a Northern Pacific plate piece here. There's all sorts of stuff right here, I think. But this is a good hint. We don't build that anymore. And that's not too cool looking, but you can tell this was built way back when. And look at the pines. This section's dating back to the 1890s. So originally I thought it might have been Milwaukee, but Milwaukee was the other side here. We had two transcontinentals running side to side in this canyon. Northern Pacific was this side, the settlements over here. But up there, that's the old Milwaukee rail grade. But that's interesting. This is interesting for me. It just lets me know. And we found this on a lot of our explorations. That's a Northern Pacific plate. You see the colors? That's what that is. Old rail tie. Some of it's been cleaned up. This right here, it's kind of like a sore thumb. Yeah, derail. So whatever's going on here, this is a derail thing. But we're gonna check out this place. There's some great features in this canyon. I mean, some great features. Heck is this? What is this? That's kind of old oil barrel. We're actually quite far out here to get to this. But this is, I mean, amazing to see. There's not, look at that. This is an old Northern Pacific train stop. And it's still holding up. Just amazing. Just amazing. Actually, bones here. Kind of just watching because this is a very undisturbed land. Oh, there's a bunny right there. Just ran across. Greta doesn't even see bunnies. I don't know how many episodes she's been on, and she just doesn't even see the bunnies, but smells them. This is amazing. This right here is truly an old boarding house from the days. It's a Northern Pacific boarding house. So this was a homesteading frontier era stay, like you see in all the old westerns and everything. And a lot of the place is just coming apart. But this is really beautiful. See this? Craziness. And we always just give these structures a little bit of space when we first enter. And then we kind of look around if it's safe to do, but this is close to coming down. And this is, you know, some of the last standing vestiges of the NP line. There's a cellar right there. See this old roofing? Get off there. Get off of it. This place would have been bustling too. Back in the day, telegrams would have been coming through, gold from the nearby mountains, livestock, people staying for a night until they get to their next place. There's quite the amount of history here. You wouldn't be able to tell it, but this is just an old rail town. A rail stop. It was a boarding house, so I can't really say town, but it was a stop from the 1890s. See, this is an actual horse stall. That's what this was. So if you would have rode in here, you would have stored your horse here before you went to the boarding house for a drink or the saloon. There's probably 3 main buildings here: a boarding house, a saloon, and a stable. That's what this is. And look at this. This is all very original construction. You know, you can see it's a pretty age, these floorboards. And these are, I think these are forged nails. But it's in rather immaculate condition. Look at this big nail. I don't see these nowadays. Couple nests. Very cool. Very cool. Special place. And I mean, I didn't think it'd be as detailed as what we're seeing right now, because you can kind of get the feel of it, right? Because this is, 150 years old. The first people back in this canyon to actually settle it were from 150 years ago, and we're kind of seeing the remains of it at the tail end. So this will be gone here in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm amazed by how well this is actually held up. The boarding house. That tin roof's really helped it. You can see piece by piece. I mean, 12 by 18 maybe pieces of tin that are on top of that roof. This is all chinked as well. It's a beautiful area. Very surreal. Let's get a look at this now that we've gave it space, because that's where we saw the rabbit. But in springtime, you always got to be more cautious of predators, because they're there's just rewiring their brain for the next 6-7 months out on the range. So they're cranky, they're hungry, they go into weird places, do weird things that they normally wouldn't do. And I actually didn't bring any protection today. Shame on me. This is an old stove. You can really feel the energy of this place. And you see it was actually boarded up at one point. That's interesting. A lot of these places you don't see that. But someone boarded this up like they were coming back eventually. Good girl. So the floor isn't faring as well here. And look at this. This is really cool detail here. So this is true rough lumber they used as their floor joists. I don't know if you can see the actual axe marks right here when they're hewing the log. You can actually see it up in here. And the most expensive feature, which I don't want to ruin any of this, so I'm going to step in this building. I don't know if you can see it, is the chimney. True brick chimney right there. So this was a big investment. Stop it. Oh, that kind of spooked me. There's still cloth blowing here. Kind of interested in what that could be. But you can even see them more pronounced here. True axe marks here on this rough lumber that they utilized from the surrounding forest. Greta, come. What is this? Greta, come. It's just tack paper. Or tack cloth. No, we're coming down. Actually, just get one look here. Yeah, this is the true boarding house. I don't want to be moving too much, but I want to get a look get out of there, at what this will look like. Amazing, huh? Amazing. All right, come on. This little shelf. Yeah, this is more tack cloth. So this was all tack cloth, and then they applied some sort of a paper, and you can kind of make out the details on it. See those weird diamond-shaped things in the flora? It looks like they had newspaper up here too. Oh, these are the people who have been back here. 7/8/25. Wow. Isn't this special? Isn't this cool, Greta? I'm thinking this was the trash, because there were no services obviously then, but you can really make this out, and it's a wonderful piece of preserved history, especially for a small rail stop. Just amazing to see this. And you see the shingling right there. I forget what that's called, but that's someone will know what that is. But that's a method of shingling where you use raw lumber for siding. So a lot of interesting pieces too as far as construction goes. And this is the side we walked on. Just super special to even see anything up there, because you can really get the feel for what this was as a boarding house. It's got the old West boarding house feel from the cowboy days. Cowboy settlers, you know, banditry. You get a feel of this, and that's what I love, finding this old history and just kind of thinking of the people who passed through here when this was all that existed in one rail line. You wouldn't have been able to stay in this canyon unless it was for the rail system, which was the Northern Pacific, or horse and, you know, buggy or wagon. But it's just amazing. It's amazing, and it's priceless to still have this on the landscape, because it gives so much back to our culture and our heritage of where we came from, and the hard work and the dedication and just the rugged individualism and exploring everyone did. And this canyon hasn't changed much either. So, right, these heavy hard rock formations, it's actually volcanic looking rock. Like this was a huge lava slide millions of years ago. But this is the life that this place would have looked. So I'm going to get a 360 of it and just appreciate it. So you have your barn, your boarding house. There's probably a saloon. And over here, towards the river, I think I saw something that looked like rail cars, but it probably isn't. But I saw some sort of, yeah, that. Now I'm not sure how to get to that, but that almost looked like an old rail hopper that's buried. I actually might be able to cross this stream, but you can see it right here. See that? I don't know how deep this is yet. And it's not that cold out. I could probably just trudge across, because I'm really curious what the heck's over there. This is like a little access somewhere, which there might be. So we'll see around first. And before we get out of here, I want to appreciate this one more time. Check that out. That's really old pottery. That's like clay pottery. See that? No, go away. There's a lot of clay pottery there. That's interesting. Yeah, there's more of this that's kind of stamped as well. This is all clay. You can see they're almost like pots or big buckets, big clay buckets. I wonder if this is a grave or something, some sort of stake. Oh, there's something shiny off in there. Maybe water pouring off this, running down. Interesting area for sure. So there's more glass fragments, and these are very, you can see that they're in that Victorian Art Deco kind of era. But you see this extract, something extract, and just some of the design that went, it's like antique glassware, just very tactile and cool looking. This might have been an ashtray or something of the sorts, because you see this fine edge, it's not from being broken, and it wants to kind of cradle. But a lot of neat pieces of glass from the days. This just says Foster. Interesting. A lot of cool things. And this almost looks like it was man-made with a little bridge right over there. Really interesting area. Fascinating. So that was super special to see this today, and just a beautiful day. Now, we're not going to be nearly as long from our next episode at all. We're going to be getting back on schedule here, and I'm just happy to share today with you. Get out here, see this history before it's gone, and just amazing. Just another amazing day, another point of life to share with everyone, and I hope everyone's doing well, and yeah, happy to be back and hear from you guys. Thank you so much. See you on the trail.
Soul searching, fall apart, tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed.